Happy Winterween. Right, it's January 5th today, so it's the official first day. A few days ago, I did a drunk book haul, essentially, and I believe I filmed a Winterween intro while I was a little bit drunk. I have no idea how that's turned out. Okay, so Winterween isn't for another, 4 days, but I'm a little bit drunk right now, and I'm currently on sprints with Jan and Katie. And I really just want to start this vlog now. I just want to start it now. So I have myself a Prosecco. I also can't do the Winterween time period. This happens every single time I do a ween, in the terms of I can't ever do the full thing. Usually I pick my own dates. But I will be doing it over the coming weekend. It's currently New Year's Day. But I have a couple of books that I want to read for Winterween. I have Leech on my shelves somewhere. I can't seem to find it. So can you help me? I found it. This is what I'm going to be reading for Winterween. Ow. But I also want to read a book that I want to get from the library too. So I'm going to start getting from the library a little bit more now in 2024. And I was going to buy this book, but then I saw that my library had it. So I was like, let's get it from the library. So I'm going to get it from the library. We are coming back from these sprints in 5 minutes. And I just wanted to tell you guys, cheers. It's been a good one. It's been a good new year. And I'm excited for Winterween. Winterween is going to be so much fun. So I thought it was probably for the best to film a sober cold opening to this vlog. But yes, it is the first day of Winterween. I'm so excited. It is only being hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads this time round. And it's running from January 5th, which is today, to January 11th. But I kind of need to cut that down. So I'm having a little bit of a camp weekend ween. Or shall I say a camp weekend Winterween? Because your boy's busy. I've just got stuff to do. So I'm actually filming this at 3:30 p.m. My library closes at 5. There is a book that I want to get from the library. I saw this book on Nikel's Nook's channel in a recent book haul video that she did. And I want to pick this book for Winterween. So I'm about to head to the library to pick it up. I'll obviously take you with me. For Winterween, there are 5 prompts. One of them is read a book in the dark or at night. Read a book with a witch on the cover or in the title, or a book about witches. Read a book with a snowy winter setting. Read a book with purple on the cover. And read a book with a W in the title. Doesn't matter where in the title of the book. Okay, perfect. Because I'm kind of doing my own thing for Winterween. I do want to give a huge shout out to Rachel, who designed the amazing Summerween, Winterween, every ween merch that there is possible. I love it. I love the little ghosty with a hat, you know, kind of matching. Anyway, we need to stop dilly-dallying because I literally need to go before this library closes.
But you better not kill the groove. Hey, it's murder on the dance floor. But you better not steal the moves. DJ, gonna burn this goddamn house right down. Well, I know. There may be others. And so. You'll just have to but you better not kill the groove. Hey, it's mad on the dance floor. But you better not steal the moves. DJ, gonna burn this goddamn house right down.
Oh, you would not think that I used to go to the gym. But I got the goods. It just said it would be under the author's name in hardback fiction. But hardback fiction, okay, but it's sorted into categories. There is thriller, there is crime, there is horror, there's just everything that you can think of, which is amazing. I love the way it's organized. but it didn't give me a whole lot to go off, but I managed to find it relatively quickly. The Women Could Fly by Megan Giddings. I also believe that Kayla gave this a 4-star a few years ago, if I recall correctly. But because the Winterween theme is kind of like witchy and stuff, I thought this one would be a good one for it, especially since the other one that I want to read, Leech, isn't really witchy, I don't think. I know that says that Josephine Thomas, who is our main character, like her mother disappeared and there were so many theories about it, one of them being that she was possibly a witch. This is the most worrying charge because in a world where witches are real, peculiar behaviour raises suspicions, and a woman, especially a black woman, can find herself on trial for witchcraft. So we do follow Josephine 14 years later. The state mandates that every woman needs to be married by the time they're 30, and I think Josephine might be approaching 30 or something. I don't know a great deal about it yet, but this is like one of the ones that will fit the Winterween prompts. So the second prompt about like a witch on the cover or in the title or the book being about witches, this one will tick that one off. Can you tell I'm still trying to catch my breath? I don't know about the snowy and winter settings of either of these books, but my other read, which is Leech by Hiron Ennes, I think, is being read for Jodeline's Patreon book club, which is on Sunday, so I need to get it read by then. I've been putting it off, but I've heard great things about it. I just don't know if it will really fit Winterween all that well. I guess if I use the first prompt, which is read a book in the dark or at night, yeah, I could read this at night and it would tick that off too. Maybe it has a snowy winter setting because it looks like there might be snow in the glass. Oh, the Baron's Icebound Castle. Okay, so maybe it is set during winter. This one is set in some kind of chateau where the Baron's doctor dies mysteriously, and it seems like he was possibly hosting a parasite, and I think our main character is going to be the new doctor. So it's kind of like, you're replacing a doctor who died mysteriously? There is no amount of money in the world that will get me to go there. But it's not too long. I have 2 days to read it. So it could possibly cover a couple of prompts. Also, this one has purple on the cover, like in the hair. And it also has a W in the title too. So I'm doubling my ass up on these reads. I need to stop doing that. I just filmed an entire update and forgot to click record. Why do I keep doing it? What was I even talking about? What did I even say? Okay, yeah, I was talking about what I'm doing today. The plan for the day is in about an hour and a half, I have another Patreon live show where you're watching the Two Towers Extended Edition. So that's going to be a long-ass live show. But before that, I want to try and film an update for my Berserk vlog. I finished another little arc, so I just need to update the vlog about it. Shouldn't take too long, but absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Very dark medieval fantasy. Not for everyone, because it is dark. It is very dark. So I was just wondering, like, should I start with The Women Could Fly? Because I'm doing sprints tomorrow. Or should I start with Leech, which I do need to get done by Sunday? But I'm just thinking I'll probably finish it on Sunday. Maybe I should just start with The Women Could Fly and then start this in the sprints tomorrow. I don't know. Decisions. There is no rest for the wicked. But before I continue on with my day, I do want to give a huge thank you and a shout out to today's sponsor, Skillshare. I don't know about you, but the start of a new year is so exciting in terms of possibilities, but also extremely intimidating because I always have this feeling of, I'm going to achieve everything I want to in 2024, but then I have no clue what to do, and then before I know it, it's December, and then I'm like, well, maybe next year. Sound like you too? So in order for me to feel like I have some sense of direction, I have turned to Skillshare for the support and information that I need for my creative passions in 2024. And with Skillshare being the largest online learning community for creatives, it only makes sense to partner with them again. I've tested their classes for months, so I can genuinely tell you how much they've helped my journey. Skillshare now has a section on their website for learning paths. It can be overwhelming when there is so much choice and you still don't really know what to do, but Skillshare have now simplified choices in the learning path system. It will save you valuable time in searching for what it is that you are trying to accomplish in 2024. The learning paths are filled with curated lessons that have proven to be successful in the past. The variety of classes is incredible, but not too overwhelming. You have things like music production, animation, cooking, journaling, essay writing, crocheting, programming, and so much more. There is a learning path called Grow Your First YouTube Channel, and obviously I'm always looking for ways to improve my YouTube channel. There is always something valuable to learn from these classes, and it's made even easier to find through the learning paths. It doesn't matter like what size you are, if you're just starting out or if you have a big channel, there's always something so valuable to learn from these classes, and it's made even easier to find through the learning paths. Sometimes it's never too late to go back to basics and learn something new that you probably should have known the entire time. And I know so many of my viewers have dreams of starting their own YouTube channels in 2024, so let Skillshare help you on that career path. And even if starting a YouTube channel isn't your dream, there are so many more learning paths on Skillshare that you will never be short on inspiration. The first 500 people who use my link in the description box box or in the pinned comment down below will get a 1 month free trial to Skillshare. Give it a go and let 2024 be the year that you take that leap into the career of your dreams. And a huge thank you to Skillshare once again for sponsoring this video.
I've been keeping my eye on your movement. I can't see no room for improvement. So while you're all over there in your Jack Jones, you need to let me get behind your backbone. Cause I'm the man for the job, let me work it. I won't waste no time, I'll make it worth it. 100%, I'll make it perfect. You got a body to die for, let me murk it. Now it's better on the dance floor. I wanna take this further than the dance floor. I ain't forceful, but I'm still hardcore. You're gonna give me everything I ask for. It's not a long ting, you're a boom ting. Maybe more than a hotel room ting. I'll never know if I just walk past. I really wanna dance, so I guess I'll just ask.
It is the next day. I am wearing the same stuff as yesterday, but I swear it's all good. It is all good. I didn't just buy this Winterween shirt for the intro and that be it. I also don't need glasses to see, but it's getting later and these are blue light blocking lenses. So I want to try and get back to wearing them for a few hours before bed because I'm usually just watching YouTube or editing quite late or things like that I think would be pretty handy if I just started wearing my blue light blocking lenses a little bit later. So with that out of the way, I have just been watching Kayla's members only reading sprints just before. I do have reading sprints with Gabby and Jessie in a couple of hours from now. And I did decide to start with The Women Could Fly by Megan Giddings, and I am on page 123. So I've made such good progress today. It's been so nice and chill. I've been making myself a few cups of coffee. I've been lying in here reading, usually getting snuggles off Ash, but I'm kind of liking this so far, and I kind of get more of a sense of what the plot is now that I've read a bit more of it. This will be spoiler free, by the way, so if anyone wants to read this book or Leech, it will be totally spoiler free. But yeah, I'm understanding the plot more. This is a lot more literary than I usually would have gravitated towards, but I feel like the writing is just so great. Because it's a library book, I am not annotating or anything, which is the only downside to getting library books, honestly. So what I've been doing instead is just taking photos of passages that I kind of like. One thing I love about this is that how real it feels with the whole witchcraft stuff. It feels a little bit practical magic in a way, and I love how the narrator, because this is told in first person by Josephine. In school, like everyone else like you, I was raised to believe that witches are still alive and living among us today, although most have died in great eradications. We aren't in the real world being taught that witches are still alive and living today, at least not in the magical sense that we get in this story. But I love the fact that the narrator is including us in the equation, we are part of the story. And there are a few moments like that in this book that really does feel so engaging, I think is the word I'm looking for. And it's making me really enjoy the writing style. The writing of the main character, it feels raw and real and angry. We have this government that is forcing women to do these things and they're making it seem like it's something that is supposed to happen, which parallels so much of the real world. There was a line, something like, how come guns have more rights than women? There was some kind of quote like that. I forgot to take a picture of it. But that really resonated with me and just made me think of the wider picture in general. We can have fantasy stories. Would I call this true fantasy? I don't know because it feels so real. But the way that this is paralleling the real world and giving a commentary on it too, especially when it comes to the government and what they're trying to force women to do. And I can feel it through the narration style of the main character. So the plot now has gotten to the point where our main character, her mum had disappeared years and years and years ago. Our main character is turning 28 soon, and her mother's will her most recent version of the will has been brought to light, and there was some kind of request in this will for Josephine to follow. Yeah, within the will, she wants Josephine to go to this small island in Lake Superior, where the island appears every 7 years. A treasure at the heart of it, placed there by witches or eccentric rich people. And that feels more of like a sort of tangible plot for me to follow, because sometimes I do get lost pretty easily with literary fiction. I'm trying to be a lot smarter in 2024 when it comes to stuff like this. But the reading experience so far has been really, really good. And yeah, kind of now having that goal of this whole like island thing is like so interesting. Not as interesting as what the hell actually happened to Josephine's mother, you know? She's been missing for years. They've now declared her dead, but is she? Like, what actually happened? We still have no idea. So there are so many mystery elements that are keeping me reading, and yeah, I'm enjoying myself so much. So I might pause here and start my next book, Leech, because again, I do need to read that for tomorrow, so really I should be already starting it, but you know me, I like to live life on the edge. I'm also thinking of moving the like anime DVDs and Blu-rays to my library on the manga shelves. Don't know what you think about that. I just want a little bit more room. I want a bit more room here. This is usually where I have my favorite TV shows. This is where like they live. And while they are some of my favorite, like One Piece is one of my favorite TV shows, I kind of need the room. And I have so much space on the manga shelf. So yeah, we're just gonna move some stuff around, I think. I still have time before the live show, and I don't really want to read more right now. I just kind of want to potter on a little bit. So that's what I'll do. I'll move them into the library. I'll put them on a shelf. There we go. I think that looks pretty decent, right? It looks fine. I don't have that much. It's mainly like One Piece and Attack on Titan, but it'll do, Donkey. It'll do. And now there's way more room on here for my favourite TV shows. It's not as cramped, you know? It's not as cramped. It's looking good. I'm reading, well, I'm in the middle of a book, but I think I should stop reading it for now because I have a book club that I need to do tomorrow that I still haven't read the book for. But firstly, I am in the middle of The Women Could Fly by Megan Giddings, which I wanted to do for the like witchy kind of prompt that is part of Winterween. But the one that I should probably start now is Leech. This is the one that I need to read for the book club. So
you haven't read it yet?
Nope.
Oh my gosh, Gavin, that's crazy because I was literally going to read this today. Oh no. It's a tense read.
It's going to be great.
Oh shoot. Well,
I have no choice. I have no choice, honestly.
I know. I'm going to try to finish it today too. Like, I want to finish the whole thing today.
Do it.
So as far as like how long the sprints are today, are we cool with 50-minute sprints? Like, is that something that's cool with everyone?
Why am I'm not a top, I'm a bottom. Can you please put me down? Please. I should not be up here. I got to page 53.
Oh my gosh. I got to page 50 and I decided to DNF it. I don't like it.
Gabby.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so confused. I'm like, what is going on?
I mean, it's strange. It is strange. Yeah, I love that, actually. I love it.
I mean, I don't know. I might get back to it at some point, but it's like, it's very dense. Like, I see what Kayla was saying when it's like, it is very dense, and my brain is just like, what?
I mean, to be fair, I would probably read this slower if I could, but I do need to get it read tomorrow. Like, I have to finish it. I can't not. But I do like it. I like how weird it is. It's made me feel a little bit queasy, though, as well, because there's, like, some things to do with inside the body and...
The doctor, like, the first chapter, I'm like, oh!
I'm a little confused. I don't blame Gabby for DNFing this 50 pages in. However, I'm seeing it through. I'm on page 154. I need to get a move on and finish this like ASAP. But I will say, do not listen to the audiobook. The audiobook is terrible. And the reason I'm saying that, and I'm still going to continue to listen to it, is because I do focus a lot more on the story and like what's happening when I'm actually listening to it and reading it at the same time. So I'm going to continue doing that because this is a bit of a tough one. But the audiobook's terrible. It really is. There were so many times when the audiobook narrator continued speech, even though the actual paragraph of like the narrator who wasn't speaking has started. So there was a moment when a character was shouting and the narrator continued to use that shouty speech voice reading a paragraph by the narrator. You know, it was like, there were so many moments like that when you couldn't tell where the person was speaking and the narrator was like speaking. You know what I mean? It was very confusing. So I think the audiobook is absolutely terrible. But I'm starting to understand it a little bit more. So the actual person who has replaced this doctor at this really atmospheric chateau. It doesn't have a name. You know pretty much nothing about them, essentially. There are times when it says, I don't think this is a spoiler because I think it would actually help you to know this going into it straight away. That the main character is like, as far back as I can possibly remember, in any place, in any host, I have never had a name. So you intentionally have this main character where you know little to nothing about and use in terms that makes themselves sound like some kind of parasite. So I feel like that is like important to know going into it, because otherwise you just sat there like, what the hell is going on? Oh, but I love the imagery of this so much, especially when it comes to bodies. Like, I mean, the body horror in this is making me physically sick. I hate the idea of like arteries and you know, like things like that does make me so uncomfortable. But I love some of the metaphors, and this is in relation to a body that's changed because of like an illness or a sickness. But now I feel as if I am walking through a house I once knew well, only to discover the halls and staircases have rearranged themselves in my absence. And it's like, damn, like that's kind of deep when you think about your own body. Sometimes I look in the mirror, and I've cried about this recently on my channel too, about like seeing yourself change. It's like you're walking through the same house, but like it's different. You know, it's like, oof, it's just so deep. So I feel like it's really written well. Has anyone seen, what was it called again? The Strain. I think it was called. The Strain. It was like some kind of TV show years and years and years ago. It gives me some kind of vibes of that in terms of like parasites and hosts and taking over a body and it's stuff like that. It kind of gives that kind of vibe. Is that a house alarm going off right now? My battery's getting close to this, so I'm glad that turned off pretty quick. This is when I put audiobook bad, because yeah, the character is, like, her name's like Helene. I swear to fuck. Okay, it's gone. Then your fingers don't work clearly, she says, closing her silk robe. I had thought you were worried about some sickness spread through the house, but evidently my health is not a concern. I'm sorry for wasting your time. If she was so sorry, she might try to grow a real wild for once. See, that last sentence was the narrator. And that's exactly how the audiobook narrator narrated that scene. She was still shouting when she started that last sentence. Which, you know, like, that's just like a really nitpicky thing of me. But like, do not listen to just the audiobook for this. I'm begging you. God, I feel like this is going to be a good one to talk about tonight on Jordaline's Book Club. But also like really, really hard. So I did tune into Jordaline's Patreon reading sprints yesterday for a bit. And she mentioned that she hadn't finished it yet herself. But like, she was kind of confused. So it's going to be so funny to see us two rambling idiots trying to talk about this book when we're both a little bit clueless about it. Yeah, there was like this whole thing with some forceps and stuff. I'm just like, nope. It's still so interesting. So I am enjoying it. But I absolutely should have started this a lot earlier. I probably should have started it before I started The Women Could Fly. Which I'm still in the middle of. But you know what it is, and diamonds are made under pressure. And I am one hella big diamond. I am still reading Leech. I have only read like another chapter since updating you. But I was just kind of fiddling with my... That doesn't sound right. I was kind of reworking some of my upcoming content and stuff. And you know how I was like, oh, I don't want to like overwork myself, and I want to make sure that I'm doing things I'm passionate about and stuff like that. But I have a week where I go away. Not tomorrow, but the Monday after. And I was kind of racking my brain thinking, how am I going to like work this? Because I can't really do much that week that I can upload and stuff like that. And I have this Winterween vlog going up next week. I have a Complete Berserk vlog going up next week, which isn't me overworking myself. I am freaking loving my time reading that. Oh my god. I just filmed a clip for it again just before, and it's like 8 chapters of manga, and I talked about it for like half an hour. Like, I am that obsessed. I am that engrossed, and I have so much to say. So it's so much fun. But I also have my Crooked House Solve Along with my patrons next weekend on this Saturday. And like, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to like try and fit in another video like solving an Agatha Christie story. However, what I thought I would do instead, because I have done like 6 episodes now of solving Agatha Christie mysteries, and I get this way when I've done something a few times, I get a little bit bored of the formula, so I like to change things up every now and then. But what I've decided to do is, like, because I still want to read them and solve them, but my very first Agatha Christie video, I read 4 in one video, and I just like casually read them and solved them. Like, it wasn't too much, you know? So I have the 2-year anniversary of me starting the series in March, so instead of me trying to rush produce a big in-depth video of me solving Crooked House by Agatha Christie this coming weekend and getting it all edited before I go away for a week, I've decided I'm gonna still do like the Crooked House solve along, and I'm gonna like film for it, but like in a really casual way, in the same vein as my very first Agatha Christie video. And also like in February and March, I might just have some like really chill solvings of like some smaller Agatha Christie books and maybe solve more than one in one video, but in a chill format. So it'll be more like 20 to 30 minutes per story rather than a whole ass hour of a single book in a video and trying to get that uploaded and done before I go away. So I will obviously like film clips for Crooked House. I will still try and solve along and check in with my thoughts and stuff as I'm reading. But oh my god, the relief when I kind of decided that, I was like, I feel so relieved and good about this decision. Oh my gosh. And that's what I'm like continuously doing in 2024. It's only like the 7th day of 2024. I already feel great about what I'm doing. And that's like the kind of vibe that I promised I would do. A month ago, I was literally crying my eyes out thinking, God, I'm just like doing too much to myself and I'm not treating myself well. But ever since uploading that video and holding myself accountable and getting all those great comments from you guys, it's like really opened my eyes and like, you know, I can make these decisions to take some of that pressure off. I can, and it won't affect anything. So yes, I won't exactly have the Agatha Christie Crooked House video uploaded this month. So that's like 1 video less than I was planning. But again, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I just wanted to check in with that because I know you guys were so supportive when I mentioned about my tough time with it all. And obviously I didn't just want to upload that video, say I'm going to change things and then not do that, but to actually be honest and vulnerable with you guys about it all makes me feel like I am purposefully making changes and holding myself accountable and all of the good stuff. So yeah, back to reading. I'm gonna have my very last coffee of the day. The live show with Jodeline is actually at 11 p.m. my time, so I have a bit more time to read it, so I can slow down just a little bit now. It also won't affect the fact that I'm having a coffee now, because I will still need to try and stay awake at that time. I had a break to watch Gabby's premiere for her Winterween vlogs, or at least for the first 2 days, just so I could get a little bit of a reading break, you know? But I did manage to finish Leech relatively recently, and it is currently 10:30 p.m. and I have the book club live show with Jodeline in half an hour, so I feel ready to talk about this, I think. I mean, I'm gonna give this a really solid 4 stars. I think if I read it 1 more time, maybe 2 more times, I might fully understand and get everything. I mean, when you lay it down, the concept of the world and what the characters do, I feel like it is relatively easy to follow-ish. Like, this author doesn't hold your hand whatsoever in kind of setting you up in this world. You kind of just thrust into it, which I think is both a great thing about this book and a bad thing, because yeah, it did mean that I was confused a few times, but I managed to overlook that to really get a sense of what the actual main plot of this was, and about the whole like hive mind and how the institute were making these physicians, these doctors out of young people, and they had been infected with this like parasite. So that's what our main character is. But it's like not just that, it's the fact that it is a hive mind. The narrative that we get, the inner monologues that we get are coming from different directions sometimes. So that can get kind of confusing. So I think once you've got like the bare bones of that down and you can understand all of that, then it makes for a lot more of a coherent reading experience. And also just like getting into the crux of what the themes of this are. I think when you look at it in terms of it is a sort of commentary and a critique on Colonialism and, you know, bodily autonomy, the way that the Institute have developed these young minds, in the way that they've taken the sense of individuality from each person who goes into this profession, I guess. And I feel like that could also lend into the whole like medical side of things. I also believe that the author is a medical student themselves, or they are part of the medical profession. And I think that lends so well into this in terms of how a lot of the medical stuff was talked about. The body horror, it felt so methodical, it felt precise. The author is well equipped, well skilled in talking about the inner workings of the body, making it sound a certain way, which honestly does get under my skin because I hate anything to do with inside the body. It just, it makes me so uncomfortable. But yes, I think the main thing that I took from this was the whole colonialism aspect to it, the way that Indigenous people are treated, and how that kind of juxtaposes with the barren and the wealthy, and how the wealthy have access to so much wealth and healthcare, whereas the people who were originally part of the land, the people who built the Baron up to where the Baron is today, and that whole family, are the ones that are suffering. So just like loads of things like that I think will be really interesting to talk about with Jordan. I just don't know if I can be fucked right now. You know, when you kind of like just want to like stew in your thoughts and feelings about this, I don't know how long it will take for me to like really fully accept and understand what I've just read without another read. You know, it's like it was very, very good. I want to give it huge props for the fact that it engaged my brain in the way it did. I always appreciate and love books that do that. But yeah, it got to a point where it was very exciting because there was like this whole other parasite threat that even this hive mind parasite is trying to contain and control, and the implications of that, especially after we've just had a pandemic, and we're still in a pandemic, it hasn't gone away. So it's kind of like this is like a very timely read. Oh yeah, like doing this stuff themselves, like when they can like operate on themselves. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. But I do like this book. I thought it was very, very good. 25 minutes now until the live show. I'm still halfway through The Women Could Fly on page 123. How many pages are there? I'm not exactly halfway, but I'm nearly halfway through. It is shorter than Leech, so I can only really do Winterween for another day. I do have so much coming up, so I will definitely get this one finished before the end of what I've deemed the readathon limit. And I think so far I'm getting 4-star vibes from this. I'm about to leave for the library. I'm going to see if the cafe is open. I haven't been at the cafe in the library yet because it's been closed the last few times I've been there, but it closes around about 3, whereas the library's open a bit later. So I am hoping that they've reopened after New Year, and it's not just the fact that I've been going there late. So fingers crossed. I would love to finish The Women Could Fly in the library cafe and then like return it straight away. And I also like still need to like wake up and stuff because I'm gonna try and get there before, you know, there's a whole dinner rush. Wish me luck. Okay, a little sneak peek into the future. If I could gaze into the future. When I was doing a live show last week, we were talking about all the TV shows that I used to watch, like way back in the day. And one of them was The Lying Game, which is based on a book series by Sarah Shepard, who wrote the Pretty Little Liars books. But I'm starting to get the Lying Game books, and this came today. It's just one of the random ones. There's only 6 of them. I think this is the 3rd book, and yeah, they were just about £2 each on eBay, so I have the rest of them coming. So I kind of want to do like a Lying Game kind of reading vlog at some point, just to follow up on that Pretty Little Liars one I did 2 years ago. But I'm still waiting on the last book that I need for the Princess Diaries series. I bought it secondhand off eBay as well towards the end of December, and I thought it would have come by now, and it still hasn't arrived, so I'm a little bit scared, especially since I actually got this off eBay only last week and it's already here. It was so nice at the library today. I did manage to sit in the cafe and I stayed there for a couple of hours to finish The Women Could Fly. While I was there as well, I decided to extend my loan on The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. I got this out of the library at the end of December during my Slice of Life vlog, and it's kind of what's inspired me to use my library a bit more this year. And I'm still only halfway through, so I needed to extend it because I just don't have the time to finish it by the time I needed to return it. So that's extended. I'll probably finish it at the end of January at this point, but I'm not rushing it. But yeah, I feel sad that I'm not holding The Women Could Fly right now. I'm kind of sad I already returned it. But I thought it was so good. The writing is so beautiful and lyrical. And I really liked the ending too. The ending was was great. It's actually kind of interesting the fact that both the books I ended up reading for Winterween have some kind of commentary on politics in the real world, whether it's to do with the government or with gender or anything like that. I feel like both books tackled it really, really well. And I just got so invested by the end of The Women Could Fly with the character of Josephine and her, you know, relationship with her mother, looking back on her time with her mother before she disappeared and all of these things. And I love the fact that the mysteries are answered. This isn't open-ended in that sense. Like, you do get closure, which I'm really happy about. I would have been a little bit miffed if we just, like, never found out whatsoever. As much as I do like an open-ended mystery sometimes, I kind of like the concrete answer. And it did take a little bit of a turn I wasn't expecting in terms of how the story developed, especially with the mission that Josephine was on, which was in relation to the island. It was just so good. It was really, really good. I'm so glad with the books that I read in this video and started 2024 with. Even though I've read like 6 deluxe editions of Berserk so far. Like, those are manga and count as a reread. But the first novels that I finished in 2024 are Leech and The Women Could Fly. And both of them are like really solid 4 stars. Like, I really enjoyed both of them, and for different reasons too. So we're already starting off so well with 2024, way better than 2023. Starting 2023 with The Vampire Diaries was a choice that would set the tone for 2023. So hopefully this sets the tone for 2024 and keeps up with the high ratings and the positive feelings towards these books. I want to immerse myself in the world of Berserk now and bid Winterween a loving farewell. Before I end this vlog, I just want to see which reading prompts that I ticked off for Winterween. So read a book in the dark. I mean, it's winter here in the UK. It gets dark pretty early, so tick that one off. Read a book with a witch on the cover. I guess The Women Could Fly could count for that. Read a book with a snowy winter setting. Leech. Read a book with purple on the cover. The Women Could Fly. And read a book with a W in the title. The Women Could Fly. So I hit every single prompt for Winterween, even though I did double up or triple up on some of those. Really glad that I managed to get it done, and it was just an absolute blast. So thank you so much, Gabby, for hosting this readathon. I know it's still going on, but I'm ending it now. So I hope anyone who is taking part in Winterween still has been having the best time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Winterween. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all the comments. Let me know what you thought of the vlog. Let me know if you've read the books I've read in the vlog and your thoughts on them. Let me know what you've been reading for Winterween. I want to know everything. A big thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and a huge thank you to my patrons and my One Piece channel members for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon or my One Piece channel membership, then all the links are down in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye!